some more to run in.
T-minus 30 seconds and counting.
You know, this used to be a hell of a good country. I can't understand what's going on with it.
Chaos.
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 T-minus 15.
Oh, they're not scared of you.
Bikers and bikers all across the nation. This is Butch Popeye Moss with Texas Biker Radio and my co-host, Mel O.G. Robbins. And Mel, I don't know why in the hell I keep saying radio. But hey, welcome to our show. This is show number 323. And this is about our fifth podcast since we switched to podcasting. But good afternoon or good evening, Mel. How are you doing?
Doing well. Given that it's December and maintaining the holiday spirit and getting through all of the stress that one goes through in December.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's exactly right. Exactly right. Hey, Mel, let's talk a minute about we got a message the other night that one of our chapter members from Arizona, his dad lives here in Jonestown, Texas, and he's a former Marine Corps veteran. He was a sniper in the Marine Corps, and from what I understand, he was one of about 3 that came back from his unit. The rest of them had been KIA'd. It's absolutely incredible story. But his dad had fallen ill. He's terribly ill. He is in the hospital. Their finances are strained, and we found out that their propane tank for their home is empty. Funds are scarce, and Mel, we put out the call to other veterans and motorcycle ministries, and Mel, we have to thank the Austin COCI region and the what was the name of that, Mel? Christian Unity Group.
Right.
This is what it's all about, right, Mel?
That's right. It's all about the brotherhood. And a lot of people just do not understand how deep the brotherhood can run in the motorcycle community. It's way different than any other organization, and probably is I can't say unparalleled. The closest parallel to it would be the brotherhood you get in the military.
Mm-hmm.
Even the thing they call the blue line, I don't think runs as deep as the brotherhood does in the motorcycle community and in the military.
Exactly, Mel. And it's not. All these groups are not as law enforcement describes. It's just not. And the law enforcement over the years has described these toy runs and charitable events as a feel-good thing. Well, of course it's a feel-good thing. You feel better about yourself when you help your fellow man, your fellow biker. Of course it is. But it's not like they say it is, or like they try to, the narrative that they throw out there. this is real. This is not anything that's fake. And I will take anyone to task that says differently. We live it. And we know it. And we know what this world is all about. And it's not as described by law enforcement and other groups. And especially the COCI, or the Texas COCI. It's just not. Maybe anything you want to add to that? Oh, hey, look, we really, really have to thank everybody that has stepped up. Their propane has been taken care of. We're going to make sure when he comes home from the hospital that they have some groceries and maybe a little funds to work with.
We will absolutely follow through on that.
Yes, we will. And I mean, pretty tough. I mean, we're over 200 miles away from there, and for other groups to step up and help out, that's just, man, I can't.
That's just one of the unique points of Texas. Your neighbor is always a hell of a lot more than a stone's throw away. It's unlike any other state I've ever lived in.
Yeah.
It's impossible to buy a car here or a motorcycle and have low mileage at the end of the year.
Yeah.
You just can't do it.
That's true. That's true. It's so true. And man, we're searching around the news this morning. Of course, the SRT unit over in Fort Worth, they must be doing a big bunch of nothing. Never hear them mentioned. Unless they're harassing some bikers.
Best they keep a low profile.
Yeah. Unless they're harassing bikers or putting out false alerts from the DPS to the Star Telegram, who turns around and puts it out there as if it's all true. But, hey, what's made the news, and there was a Forbes article about civil asset forfeitures and how it is a recipe, this is our words now, a recipe for corruption. When you add money to the equation, whether it be civil asset forfeitures or for-profit jails or anything else where they benefit in money to pay their employees or a certain group of employees, and we're finding out that number's pretty small. But the numbers are big when it comes to cash and the monetary value of things. Am I right there, Mel?
Oh, Lord. I mean, a civil asset forfeiture has gotten so bad that most of the law enforcement involved in it at this date and time are like addicts on crack cocaine.
Exactly.
I mean, they are going for it. They've discovered it as a source of money, and they are not going to give up until we find some way to get this legislated, like they did, I think it was in Arizona, where you can go out and forfeit all the money, but it's going to go into the state general fund.
Yeah.
And that's very much like a technique. Takes me back years ago. I don't know if you know this or not, but when I was 21, I was a 21 dealer in Las Vegas, Nevada for a while. And I remember working in the pit. You know, dealers work for tips. And some of the clubs used to allow the dealers to work for their own tips. And if you've ever been on a 21 table or a crap table or roulette, when you give a tip to the dealer, it normally goes in their pocket. And they take their tips at the end of the shift and, go home, count it up, and usually have $200-300. But what they discovered was some of these dealers were putting a pocket near their belt line on their pants. And as they were clearing the table, some dealers use a technique that's called two-handed dealing. They're scooping chips and cards with both hands, which a lot of clubs frown on, but it is expedient. But they'd be sweeping the chips in, and instead of hitting the tray, it was hitting their pocket, and they were taking the house for a lot of money. And the club said, "Hey, enough! Now you are no longer going to be getting tips on your own. You're going to put it in a tip box before you leave the pit, and it will be split amongst dealers." And boy, that stopped that bullshit. So that's basically the same premise as passing legislation where, okay, you can make civil asset forfeiture, but it's going to go into state general funds. So that takes the candy away from law enforcement.
Yeah, and
that's what we need to work on.
I think so, Mel. It's that would probably be a lot easier to get passed. And let me explain to everybody. I said I would do this in the promo. Is explain the difference between civil asset forfeitures and criminal asset forfeitures. The civil asset forfeiture is like a dispute between two citizens or a group of citizens, whatever. That's what that is. A criminal asset forfeiture comes when the citizen has a dispute with the state. That's the difference. Which, Mel, there's really not a whole lot of difference when you really get down to the bottom line of it, right?
No, that's true. That's true. The scary as hell part is, as a club, when we travel sometimes, we'll take cash, because sometimes if you're having problems with the card, which is kind of an inside joke for this club.
Yeah.
If you're having trouble with your card, you need to have some cash. And the real scary part is you throw, like when we went back to Tennessee, you throw a couple $1,000s in the saddlebag, and that's in cash, and you get pulled over by a trooper somewhere, and they stumble into that, they can confiscate it. For no good reason at all. And like you and I were talking the other day, I can remember when we ordered some new patches, and we went down to Wilson in Fort Worth, and I had a pocket full of cash to pay for those patches. Had we walked in on that deal that they were doing in Fort Worth at Wilson's here not too long ago and shook us down, we'd have lost our cash.
Yeah.
And that was righteous money. I mean, so everybody is subject to that. And there's a lot of horror stories out there over that.
Yes, there is. They were... the Podunk police departments in Southeast Texas, were shaking down people going to the casinos in Lake Charles, and taking their money, and also taking these cash credit cards. And when you go, it would cost these people more money to try and get their money back than the actual money they took. And I imagine
That's right.
I imagine some tried it just out of principle. Because I know this what we would do. We would be fighting them hell and high water. Just over the fact that the money our club has, or the money we work to scrape together, is righteous. It's legal. And it's that way for many clubs out there. And so, we would fight every time. we would fight. We would push back every time. So if you want to take that as a notice, take it. Because we know they watch what it is we do. We're used to it. Any more on civil asset forfeitures, Mel?
No, I think that pretty well covers it. I mean, some of the heartbreak here is one of the biggest proponents of getting rid of it. State Senator Don Huffines,
Yeah.
was always pushing that. He was fearless. I mean, you mentioned sponsoring some kind of a bill against civil asset forfeiture to some of our state representatives and state senators, and they look like a deer in the headlights. Their eyes get wide. They start sweating because they're scared to death of law enforcement. Law enforcement has one hell of a lobby against that. And Don Huffines didn't give a shit. He always went for what was right. The toll roads, civil asset forfeiture. I mean, you want to talk about a guy that's for working class. Don Huffines is one of them. And he's pretty wealthy. So, but, he lost in this last Senate race. And, but I think he's still got some friends down in Austin that I think he's going to, in the background push. But damn, we're going to miss him as a good friend on pushing for stuff like this.
Yeah, and Mel, let me mention Connie Burton also. She got caught up. She got caught up in that Beto bounce, and she was another one that was, she actually got chastised by the president, who doesn't know civil asset forfeiture from criminal asset forfeiture. He doesn't know squat other than what those sheriffs sat there and told him, when they bitched about Connie Burton mentioning that civil asset forfeitures needed to be reeled in. And it's so true. It does need to be reeled in because it is corrupt. Now, we saw what happened to the bikers in Twin Peaks. When there was not, and there still has not been a proper investigation done. The DA's office is not it. They are not skilled investigators. And now that time has gone by, and it's really quite apparent that the Waco PD is hiding things, that they really don't want certain people testifying because they don't want people to know their part in it. Now, we're going to find out real quick when the trials start up again by who they may be trying to prosecute. And we'll be paying close attention to that. We'll be playing it too. But Mel, you got anything you want to add to that while I hose up the English language?
No. No, works for me.
Yeah, well, I think everybody knows you come from the boardroom and I come from the assembly line. Every other word we said was a curse word. It's a wonder our programs aren't loaded with that. After 5 years in the Navy and working assembly lines and stuff for 33 years as an aircraft inspector. But I digress. Yeah, Mel, it's Waco's going to be interesting when and if that fires back up. And And it also really interesting when these civil suits go forward. And and I assume those are not going to be held in Waco or McLennan County. I think those are filed in Austin.
I can't wait
Yeah,
for those lawsuits.
yeah. And of course, we've seen the courts in action again in McLennan County, where there wasn't any prison time for that fraternity president. I guess in Waco, I guess depending on whether you're a student or, maybe the son or a daughter, well, you certainly not many women down there raping the men, but vice versa, the athletes raping the women. So go figure. It's the residents of McLennan County and others are just raising hell because that kid didn't get any prison time. So he's actually walking away from it. And that reminds me, Mel, the students over here at TCU that got caught up, in that marijuana ring. I think the police said, the actual value of all the marijuana and stuff they got was about $29,000. And that's probably really inflated, don't you imagine?
Oh, they. I'll tell you, when they put those numbers together for their stats to justify their budgets to keep their units going, they will fluff those numbers like there's no tomorrow.
Yeah.
You talk to, I would imagine when you see those numbers come across on the news, there's drug dealers across the country that are rolling their eyes saying, holy hell, I wish I could have got that much for it.
Yeah. Yeah, of course. Of course, they're all getting light sentences too. But you know what, Mel? Through the asset forfeiture program, they confiscated hundreds of thousands of dollars in cash and personal items like cars, laptops, cell phones, you name it. You name it. Hundreds of thousands of dollars. And you tell me that's not a racket?
What's even more amusing is sometimes some of that stuff disappears.
Oh, yeah.
Goes into the great black hole.
Yeah.
Wonder where it goes.
Absolutely incredible. Absolutely incredible. And, some of those people are fighting to get their stuff back, and others just want the bad stuff to go away. So they're not, I would assume because they're TCU students, most of them have means, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
So just make it go away so I can get on with my academic studies in between joints. Mel, the other day we were talking, and I guess by my figures, we're about 12 weeks away from more stable riding weather, and we'll have some weekends. Hopefully, we have some weekends in between that are nice. That are nice, and everybody can get out there and enjoy their holidays and the days after the holidays, and riding and doing the things we do. But we're going to pay particular attention to Lake Dallas and the stockyards. And man, we hadn't made a trip down to Hamilton, Texas. We need to get down there and see what the hell is going on. You even know where it's at?
No.
Well, I do, so I'll lead the pack. And you know how
There
that
you
works.
go. There you go. Oh, good Lord.
Oh, good Lord. Man.
Lots of inside jokes in this club on how we make it on some of our trips.
We're probably the only club that left San Antonio, and on the way back we went through the Twilight Zone.
Right.
But even when we get lost, we have a great time. Always.
That's right.
Yeah. There's not much news out there, really. Everything's kind of quiet. Everybody's doing their Christmas holiday things. We always want everybody to get out there and do their thing, enjoy themselves, regardless of what law enforcement says. And if you have an event that's interrupted by them, we need to know about it. We need to know about it. Send us a message. Tell us what's going on. What happened?
I remember here a couple of years back, Waco shut down a toy run.
Oh yeah, they did.
This time of year.
Yeah, they did. And that's just pure bullying, meanness, hate, whatever road you want to throw, word you want to throw on it.
And I guess at times it sounds like we pick on law enforcement a lot, but the truth of it is, we basically do. We pick on them because law enforcement isn't doing what they're supposed to do, and that's police their own too.
Yes.
If they got bad apples in there, get them the hell out.
Yeah.
If you don't get them the hell out, then take the heat that comes with it, because they're making you look bad too.
Exactly, Mel. I promise you, the damn pepper spray guy, he's still on the Fort Worth Police Department.
Yeah. I'll tell you what, this club has gotten rid of a few people that was an embarrassment to the motorcycle community.
Yeah.
We don't hesitate because we don't want the bad rep.
Exactly,
And
Mel.
God, law enforcement ought to take the hint,
Yeah, I guarantee you, Mr. Man, the guy, the former white settlement city councilman that got up there and accused all these people of being at Twin Peaks and being a member of a motorcycle gang and all this stuff, resigned his seat, thank God, as city councilman, but he's a sheriff's deputy, and I guarantee you he's still on that force after all that display of crap where he had profiled everybody, and man, we're gonna he's a poster child for motorcycle profiling. Deputy Man. But then again, here comes Sergeant Steroid. The same attitude, if not worse. By God, Fort Worth is our town. You do anything here, you don't give a turn signal, you don't put your foot down at a stop sign, we're taking you to jail. Bullshit. And we'll fight that every day of the week. Every day of the week, because that's what that is. It's bullshit. They don't own Fort Worth. And especially that guy. He's still on the force. He pulled a gun with a child nearby. For no reason. And I'll bring that up till hell freezes over. Until the entire community knows it. Especially Sergeant Steroid, whose real name is Baines. Well, Mel, that's about all I got today. I'm tired of. I know the audience is probably tired of seeing me wipe my nose. It's running off.
Listen, my wife just looked. She was going to get some Kleenex for the car. She said, "Hell, we're down to one box."
Oh yeah, one.
Same thing's going on here, man.
Yeah. One brief thing, Mel. I'm going to tell this story right here, and it's here about what was it, Mel? Over a week ago, I went to the optometrist. And, yeah, and he while they were dilating my eyes, checking my eyes out. They found something hidden behind the iris, and they said to me, well, all of a sudden I had all these other people coming in there and looking at my eyeball and dilating the hell out of it. And, they said, well, there's a mass or something back there. I'm going to send you over to a specialist. Well, within an hour, they had me going over to this other specialist, and he took a look at it, and he's going on. He said, I'm going to send you to my partner over in Dallas, and he said, he's a specialist on tumors, and we need to make sure that has not metastasized. Or, is that the right way you say it, Mel? Anyway, so I'm sitting there. Oh crap! My cancer's back. Because I had cancer 7-8 years ago, and I was the 23rd person in the world to get that cancer. And so, for a week now, I've been wondering what in the hell is going on, what that could be, whether it's the cancer come back, what it might be. I got a tumor in my eye, oh hell. And so we went over there to the Dallas Retina Foundation people, and I went in and saw the doctor. Well, they took a look at it and found out, Mel, it was a cyst. So
thank God. Well, you got your Christmas present early.
That's right. They see it quite often. Optometrists usually miss it. It's these guys that catch those things, and he was surprised that the optometrist caught it. And but anyway, turned out it's a cyst. I'm okay. I'm back to normal.
Yeah. Whatever
that might be. Just it's one of those things. It's always in the back of your mind. Once you've had cancer, and it's always back there. So it just you're always hoping you don't have to experience that again. And chemo, radiation. They radiated me. I can't grow a beard on this side anymore because of it. Oh, Mel, I was looking at the left-hand side, Mel. You can't see it. But anyway, hey, everybody, enjoy your holidays. If you're lucky enough to be working at one of these big companies that shuts down for 2 weeks like I was, it's really enjoy yourself. Get your kids. Get out there. Do stuff. Don't let them sit on the freaking gadgets. And buy them a motorcycle. Didn't hurt me. If you've got a son, make a man out of him. If you got a daughter, make sure she's squared away. Mel, that's a wrap.
You betcha. And in the meantime, everyone keep taking notes on what the Yellow Jackets are doing.
Oh,
we'll talk
yes.
about it more next time.
Yes. Hey, everybody, keep track of the Yellow Jackets in France. Give them moral support. Let me know if you contact anybody. That'll be fun. Let's see if we can stir the pot in France. Somebody's got to know somebody in a motorcycle club over there, right?
You'd think so. Hell, we've got a contact in Great Britain. So
Yeah. Oh, you know what? We'll have to
somebody should have a contact in France.
Mel, we'll have to contact his butt because, you know, the elites are trying to stop Brexit. They think they can actually go to the courts and stop the will of the people. Now, the people voted for this, and they damn sure better carry it out. And their prime minister has already got a vote of no competence. So let's stir the pot. Not only here, but over there. How about it? With that, everybody,
Gotcha.
have a good day. Ride safe. Bye-bye.
You bet. Bye.